Hey guys, it's gonna be an ornament tutorial. We'll call it the bird's nest ornament. And how it's attached to a tree is with a clip. You just clip it onto a branch. So I will get started with the supplies. You will need a hot glue gun, E6000, should grab one more. Hot glue gun, E6000, as well as a white PVC glue, like Aleene's Original Tacky or whatever you like to use. You'll need a mini wreath. 90% of my craft supplies come from thrift stores, so I can't tell you where to buy them, but I feel like this is a pretty common thing for craft stores to carry. So this is a grapevine wreath. I've also got some that I think this is seagrass, and I believe this one is fir needles. Just whatever wreath you have. Or if you wanted to skip all the messy bits of this tutorial, if you happen to have a pre-made nest, I think I got this from the thrift store, you could most certainly use a pre-made nest. But for this tutorial, we'll be using a mini wreath. You'll need some moss. The main moss I'll be using is Spanish moss. It's super ugly and looks like, but it kind of looks like twigs. So I'll be taking advantage of the ugly moss this time. But there's other mosses on the market. I don't know what this one is. There's reindeer moss, which is a really beautiful green moss. This is some, it used to be pale, like a minty green. This is old man's beard moss. This is stuff that I collected myself. So you don't have to buy any. You could go to, or you could go outside and just collect some moss if you live anywhere but a desert. But most of my moss that I've purchased came from the Dollar Tree. You'll need a mushroom bird. I have a wide array of mushroom birds. Just whatever mushroom bird you want. You could use a more realistic one, or you could use you could do a bird's nest that was not so realistic with lots of bling. You could use a blingy bird. Just find one that's gonna be a more appropriate size for the nest. So obviously this big honker would probably not. Cardboard. You'll need a couple 3 by 3 inch scraps. Unless you have super thick cardboard, then you don't need 2 scraps. But if you're just using the thin stuff like I am, old cereal box, then you'll need a couple 3 by 3 square inch scraps. Alligator clip. This is an alligator clip. And any embellishments you want to use. I've got fake eggs. I don't remember where these came from. I'm sure they came from a thrift store. But I'm pretty sure you can find them at craft stores as well. You could also use scraps of fabric, like on this ornament. I have some scrap orange sparkle tulle from a previous project. Or you could use scraps of ribbon. You could use costume jewelry. Whatever you have, you know, if you've got a bowl of odd things that don't have a home, you know, go through that bowl and see what'll fit into your nest. And yeah, I think that's it for the supplies. I will leave the list of supplies in the description box below. So let's get started. I'm gonna pick out first, get your mini wreath. This is gonna be you know, another super awesome tutorial where I don't make any mistakes. So once you have your mini wreath, you know, and you know about the size, then you're gonna want to cut out a couple of squares of cardboard, and you just want it to be just big enough to cover the bottom of your wreath, because you don't want your bird to fall out. If you're using cereal box, I would recommend gluing the pattern, gluing the outside pattern, you know, on the inside, if that makes any sense. Because you will see the colors through the wreath. And if you've got a bend in it, just glue the bends in opposite directions to stabilize it, and just stick it on there, rub it down. You could use hot glue for this part, but you're not going to get solid coverage, and when you cut it, then you're going to have the cardboard lifting up in places. So once you've got it glued, I don't wait for it to dry, but I'm impatient. Do you? I'm just cutting a rough circle. I had originally started out cutting 2 circles and then gluing it, but then I had to go back and trim it, and that was just another step that I didn't really want to do. Okay. There's a little bit of blue here. Just want to get that off, because like I said, you'll see it. And the last thing you need are the Rice Krispie elves peeking through your nest. So once you've got, I wish the circle would come out just a tiny bit bigger, but it's okay, it'll still work. Once you've got it glued, cut into a circle, now we want to attach the circle to your wreath. And I hate it when it's starting a new stick. Just want it as quickly as you can get. Of course, I'm going a lot slower because it's starting out. Quickly as you can, get a ring of glue around your cardboard, and then just smush your cardboard onto the wreath. You're going to be using a lot of hot glue for this project. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, you are. I've got hot glue on my fingers. I can't stand that. So once you've got the cardboard like down, I then go back and take the hot glue and I just really fill in the edges. I'm trying to make this like a solid rim of just glue so that it's kind of latched on. You can even like take it and kind of bring the glue over the cardboard to really get it to latch on, because I'm all about ornaments that are durable. I don't want to work really hard on something and then stuck my hand in hot glue and then it just fall apart on you. Don't worry about the look of it. You're going to cover it all up. And I'm just going around. This is not a new concept. I haven't looked on YouTube to see if there's a tutorial. These are just ornaments that I grew up with from memory. My mom has. My mom had all kinds of clip-on birds growing up. I guess that one's not ready for a stick yet. These wreaths I got from the Old Time Five and Dime, which is now closed. I'm very sad. Even though I don't live in that area anymore, whenever we did go down that way to visit our friend, we'd always stop in and say hi. But, yeah, you've got to be able to find these. If not the craft stores, which I assume you would be able to find these wreaths in the craft stores. I've never looked. Surely someone would be selling them online. But I bet they're in the craft stores. So once you have the outside pretty well walled, then I'm just going to the inside of the nest, going around, getting frustrated at the glue stick. This is my glue gun mod. She used to be my mom. She's over 20 years old and still percolating like she was just born. Can't believe she's still going. Not even the glue gun I bought myself when I started crafting works as well as Maud here. I named her Maud because she's a mauve color. So I'm super original that way. It's looking pretty good. This part takes a little while, but it's worth it to make sure your ornament is not going to fall apart on you. Okay, the next step is to attach your alligator clip. And you're going to be using E6000 for that because it's the, it's the part you're going to be handling. I like to take my clips, and you want to be careful because it's really easy to fatigue this metal and it just snap on you. But I try and make like this as flat as possible so it can be as flush up against the cardboard as possible. So that's gonna, I think that'll work fine for me. And now we're going to glue it on with E6000. And be liberal with your E6000, but be careful that you don't glue the two sides together. Obviously, then you won't be able to open it. And just plop it down somewhere in the middle of your cardboard circle. Doesn't have to be exact, you know, just wherever it lands, I guess. And then you want to allow this ample time to dry before we move on with the mossification. So I'm going to stop the camera here and I'll be back in a second and we'll do the next step. Okie dokie, on to the next part. I'm going to apologize now if I have to stop the camera suddenly. The two cats are free roaming, two strays are free roaming in the living room. And Chance is angry. There's a baby gate there, but if they really want to get over it, they can. So, the next part that we're going to be doing is adhering the moss. And I've got some already cut up here. It's easier to work with moss on when it comes to adhering it if you've got it, especially if you're trying to do like full coverage like I am. If you cut it up into smaller bits, and that way you don't have to focus on trying to glue like this really long clump of moss on. You can just, you know, there's shorter lengths to focus on. I really feel like Chance would really get along with the other cats if she, you know, if she'd give it a shot, because Chance is a jerk and one of the stray cats is a jerk. I mean, if they could accept each other, then they could share thoughts on how to best torture me. Okay, so I've got some other mosses mixed up in here. Like there's these. Just use what you have. My motto for everything. So we're going to start with the bottom of the nest. And the reason why we glued on the alligator clip first was because now we can glue around it. And I'm just pressing it into the moss. And then I want to give it a little time to set. And then I'm kind of manhandling it. You know, I really want to get off any moss that's not on good. A new stick. And I mean, this part's a little bit tedious, and you're going to use a lot of hot glue. And then just smash it in. Fun fact about me, I hate working with moss with a passion. It's like glitter, but unlike glitter, it's not sparkly and pretty, you know. I'll throw glitter everywhere, but moss does not have that sparkle effect. Therefore, it's not as fun having it everywhere. And let's take my scissors, I cut off the longer bits, and just keep gluing. Really manhandle it. You don't want moss to be flaking off everywhere. At least I don't. Maybe you love moss. Maybe you love to have moss everywhere. If you do, then don't manhandle it. I don't think I'm ever going to introduce cats into my household ever again. Give me a dog. No! Come here. Come here. Hey! Hey! Sorry. That is no. Give me your one chance. It's just been bad tonight, dude. That wasn't Chance, that was Chewy. The pain in the butt canine member of the family. But yeah, I could take a dog that's been abused and neglected its entire life and has a whole host of problems and introduce it to a pack of dogs, no problem, but I just feel really clueless when it comes to cats. It's not like they respect you as an authority figure, you know. There is no alpha human when it comes to cats. And all the while you're doing this, just make sure you haven't glued your alligator clip closed. Once you got the bottom cover, just start on the sides. The goal is to get basic coverage on the whole nest. This one I'm going to cover up more of the wreath than I did on this one. Because this one was, what did I say it was? Looks like grapevine. This looks like grapevine. This looks like more natural. This one is seagrass. I mean, how many seagrass nests do you see? At least not in my area. So I'm gonna cover covered up more because it looks very human made, you know, with the braiding or the twisting. But if you're just, you know, if you're working on a grapevine or this one's not too bad. This looks more natural than the seagrass one. Keep sticking on. So this segment is all about gluing moss onto a wreath. So on the bottom there. Are you guys wrestling out there? What are you doing? You can hear us crashing. I work very hard to build up my piles of junk. Don't disturb them. So far, the two cats have been tutorial about ornaments and cats. Discussion of cats. They've been introduced to my mom's dog Lulu, and Lulu just walked by them like they've been in the family forever. And then I try it. Lulu's a small dog. She's a Sharky. And then I tried to introduce Brutus because I felt he would be the next in line as far as my mild-mannered dogs go, and I think he accepted him right away, but I think they were scared of him just because he's so big. So we took a step back and we're going a little bit slow again. We'll try Brutus another day, but Lulu can walk all around them and they're cool with her. And Brutus is kind of a klutz. He falls everywhere. They're running again. Animals stress me out. Why do I have animals? It's not fun watching those cats from a cage, is it, Chewy? You should have behaved. Stayed on the bed like I asked. Okay, once you've got the sides covered, if you need to do that, like I said, if you've got a more natural looking wreath, then don't worry about covering the sides. Next, we're going to glue some moss to the inside. And there's no rhyme or reason with this either. Just get some glue in there. And you're welcome to use a different kind of glue. It's just going to take longer for things to set and dry. I wouldn't be so worried about getting lots of excess out in the center because you want to pack it in. And there's some gaudy hot glue showing there. We're going to cover that up. And there's some hot glue showing there. Okay, once you've got the inside moss filled up, give it a good manhandle. Make sure you've got all the loose stuff knocked off. Make sure you got the inside of the nest packed well with the moss to provide good foundation for gluing on your bird and embellishments. Make sure any gaudy glue spots you see, you re-glue and re-roll and re-manhandle and recut. I told you I'd be bringing you a perfect tutorial, and I'm sure I'm delivering. Alligator Clip is still free. Good shake. Clear your moss away once you've got that taken care of, because it is a mess. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got moss glued to my finger. So we are going to stick a couple pieces of moss on this nest to embellish. I'm sorry, Maud, I glued moss all over you. If you want to add details like this, do it before you stick on the bird, because it's very hard to do it afterwards with the bird sitting on there, or the bird gets in the way. Just stick you right there. Maybe a little bit of glue right there. And let's throw in some old man's beard moss. This moss used to be a very pretty green. It has lost that now. Okay, next we're going to stick on the bird, and what you want to do is flip it over and see what angle your alligator clip is going. And you want whatever side you want to see the most of. Like on this one, I wanted to have the side profile so I'd get to see the eggs and the bird. So side profile is pretty much what I like. So I'm going to stick the bird going this way because that's the way the alligator clip is going. And bird. What bird should I use? He's kind of cute. Stick copious amounts of glue on the bird because the glue is going to act as the base to hold it in place through all the layers that you've got going on this nest. And trying to start out being glue stick again. I stick copious amounts of everything. And right, okay. I planned that moss rather perfectly. And I kind of want the bird on the edge. It's going to go under there with some hot glue. Like I said, I'm building up the base so that the bird has something nice and even to sit on. I think the bird's butt needs some support under here. There we go. And I'm going to take a little bit of moss and just cram it there. Hide glue. And next for embellishments, I think I'm going to do some eggs. Again, I like eggs, and I have a lot of eggs, so I have a tutorial. It was a bird's nest embellishment. I'm not sure what it'd be under. I don't know, maybe like, I'll put it in the description what it's under. It's probably embellishments tutorial playlist. I'll put it in the description. But I made those that, even though they were much smaller, I made them out of polymer clay. And you could do that as well. If you had clay, you weren't a weirdo like me and had all these plastic eggs. You could certainly make some out of clay. And they're really easy to make. They seem a little bit small for this bird, but we're gonna go for it. I don't have a happy middle between that tiny egg and this egg. And this looks like it would really hurt if the bird like that. Because these are so tiny, I'm going to use some PVC glue to glue them on. Otherwise, I'm worried you'll see the hot glue. I'm just going to stick the eggs. And the PVC glue will dry clear. This, what I'm using is Alleene's Original Tacky. That's the one I like. Mama bird and her eggs. What's the matter? Uh-oh. I ruined my egg cluster. What? Don't you dare. Psst. That never works on you cats. Go on. Go. What do I have to throw at them? I have a sweater. Go. Now don't scare them. Oh, cardboard tube. Nope. Don't scare them. Nobody hop over the gate. Okay. Well, that's good enough. Go sneeze somewhere else. Yeah, I'm gonna, so that's, I mean, that's basically it. That's the ornament, and it clips onto your, I don't have anything for it to clip onto. No! Clips onto your tree branch. Come on, just do it. And sits on your tree. Okay, I'll be back in a last parter to show you all the nests that I got done. And I appreciate you guys watching this expertly executed tutorial video with yelling and shouting. And I'll talk. Okay, here are the finished ornaments. Here's the first one that I showed you. This one was made with a Dollar Tree bird.